What's up, America? In today's episode, we're going to be talking about the 5 cartridges that you're going to want to stockpile for an SHTF scenario. So, starting off first, we're going to start with probably one of the more popular ones, and that is 5.56 or 2.23. So, kind of on the table here, I have some 55 grain 2.23, and I also have some, this is 62 grain 2.23. This is the Hornate Black, and this is just the federal standard stuff you can get at the store. Obviously, AR-15 is the most common sporting rifle, tactical rifle, whatever you want to call it, rifle in the country. Obviously, you're going to need plenty of these for freedom seats for mostly self-defense purposes. You can hunt with 2.23, obviously. In addition, make sure you have enough magazines for these. But in terms of your typical Minuteman militia loadout, it's most likely going to consist of probably a 5.56 2.23 caliber gun chambered in this cartridge. So make sure you have plenty of this. Good barter item. This thing has plenty of value, as we have seen over the past couple years, and people are going to want to get as much as they can in stockpile this. So make sure you're not left out with some 5.56 2.23. Moving on, number 2 is probably a common hunting round and also very much used in the military, and that is 308. So you can also use the NATO version, the 7.62x51 as well. But this is, I have some hunting Winchester Super X 308 with the PowerPoint. This is where it says deer, antelope, wild boar, but typical deer round. Obviously, military used this type of round for many years and still do. Obviously very popular in the civilian market, very popular in AR-10s. Many of them are chambered in this. Also, a lot of bolt action hunting rifles are chambered in this. So obviously great hunting round for distance shooting. You want to stockpile some 308. All right, next in the middle here, I have 3 different variations of it, and it is 12 gauge. So obviously here I just have this is some steel shot for hunting because I hunt public hunting land. But obviously 12 gauge, very popular shotgun cartridge, probably the most popular shotgun cartridge. Also, obviously for hunting, you can use this. I also have some rifle slugs that can be used for hunting, home defense hybrid. And obviously I have some buckshot here, which is the most common home defense round. This is some double up buck, very common round. So obviously shotguns, very powerful weapon, whether for home defense or for hunting. So you want to make sure you get plenty of different, the different types of 12 gauge, like I have presented here. And they also make the fancy, like the Dragon's Breath version. You can get that too and spend a little more money for the specialized home defense rounds. But obviously, to have something, I would start with your hunting rounds and then work into your rifled slugs and your buckshot for your self-defense. So number 3 we have here is 12 gauge. All right, number 4 we have here is this is 22 long rifle. This is just some 40 grain federal, some of the premium stuff and some of the standard stuff. Obviously 22, very historical American cartridge with the rim fires. I think everyone probably has some sort of Ruger 1022 or had one, whether growing up or still currently do. Obviously great varmint round, underrated self-defense round in my opinion. Obviously it's rimfire, and those have their own unique circumstances, and rim fires typically be a little more dirty. But obviously 22, very versatile round, underrated round. This thing has its own shortages even outside the past 2 years, as we all remember historically. So obviously kind of the more cost-effective per box, but very low entry starting point. You can still find it in stores, albeit it's, can be hard at points in time. But just get some 40 grain federal 22 or whatever 22 your gun likes to feed, and use this common hunting round, self-defense, and a great barter item as well. All right, lastly I have here on the table is this is 9mm. This is just some 115 full metal jacket. I have some blazer brass and also some federal target loads. Obviously, 9mm is probably the most common handgun cartridge out there, especially with Glock, Smith & Wesson, HK, 6 Hour, whatever the case may be. Obviously, if you're going to be concealed carrying, I recommend getting the self-defense ammo. I just have some, full metal jackets out here. Obviously, this cartridge also goes really fast, and we've seen price increases throughout the past few years because of that. Additionally, if someone has a duty gun, it's most likely going to be chambered in 9mm. Obviously, 45 and 40 and 357 SIG do exist, but statistically, you're probably going to find this more often. So same with all of these barter items, just in case. But obviously, if you're going to do some trading or stuff, this is probably going to be a common cartridge to have in a common gun, 9mm that you should own as well. So these are my 5 cartridges that you should stockpile for some sort of SHTF scenario. Not necessarily in order, but if someone is saying, if a new gun owner is out there and saying, what gun should I buy and what ammo I should stockpile, I'm going to say one of these 5. Obviously, I'd say the most controversial is probably going to be the 308, with the 6.5 Creedmoor fanboys out there might want to switch to that, or the old school baby boomers out there with your 30-06, which I personally have a 30-06 as well. But 308 is probably the way to go, way of the future. And then if you want to, as 6.5 Creedmoor, maybe the next 10, 20 years becomes a more common cartridge, maybe change over to that. So that's probably the most, I would say, controversial. Obviously, I would say some people might, take up to the fact, well, there's AK rounds. I didn't have any AK here. We live in America. We live in the West. The AR or the 5.56 NATO cartridges are going to be more common in this part of the world as opposed to some sort of Eastern European, Russian style AK ammo. So that's why I chose the 5 I picked here. NATO rounds, very common in the part of the world I live in terms of, Midwest of the United States. So this is my 5 choices. Leave comments down below what you think your 5 would be. What do you stockpile, if you even want to tell the government that, even though they could track all of our debit and credit card purchases anyway. So thanks for watching this video. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Look out for new videos every Tuesday and Saturday. Check us out at RealAmericanOutdoors.com and Turn the X for the American Fishing Challenge. Thank you, and we'll catch you next time.